As the weather has turned colder, one of the things I had to do was dash out and grab all of my tomatoes off my tomato plants in the garden before the weather turned too cold for them. And of course that meant I ended up with quite a lot of green tomatoes. And what can I do with those? Well, today on Jay's World Kitchen, I'm going to show you a fun, quick, easy and delicious recipe for fried green tomatoes. This is a wonderfully easy appetizer, a great dish, and you can really make this anytime you kind of want a snack. Now we're going to start off with a half a cup of buttermilk. Now I don't have buttermilk in my house, so I'm going to actually do a buttermilk substitute, and to do that I'm taking a cup measure, and into that I'm putting just about a half a tablespoon of vinegar. And now I'm going to top that up to the half cup mark with just some fresh milk. Just like that, and give it a little stir. And we're just going to set that aside for a moment, and we're going to take a bowl such as this, and into that we're going to add 1 egg lightly beaten and our buttermilk. And we're just going to mix those together. And we're going to set that aside for just a moment. Now in another bowl I have a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and into that I'm going to add a half a cup of cornmeal. Now there are a lot of recipes that also add in here another half a cup of some kind of breadcrumb like panko or something like that. I'm not doing that today, but I am going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. And of course, I'm using this beautiful pepper mill from Olsen Fine Woodworking in Vancouver, BC, and it was gifted to me by Trifecta Electrical. Thanks again, guys. And we're just going to mix that together lightly with a fork, just like that, and just until it's evenly combined. Now, of course, you can add in anything you want into this dish. You could actually add in some paprika or any other kind of spice that you would like to have on the breading. We're going to now set that aside while we get our tomatoes prepped. Now some of my tomatoes weren't very big when I picked them because of course I went for all the big ones to eat first. But really simply all this is a green tomato. It's a tomato that hasn't ripened yet. What you don't want is you don't want it to be sort of very, very hard like an apple. You want it to be just sort of slightly tender to the touch. But obviously these are quite green, but they are a light green color, and that's kind of perfect for these. And what we're going to do is we're simply going to slice it into slices that are approximately 1/3 of an inch thick. And now again, as with everything on the show, it doesn't have to be perfect. But you're going to end up with some slices of beautiful green tomato. And now comes the fun part. Now we're going to bread these. And that's a really simple process. I'm going to start off with a 1/4 cup of flour just like this, and we're going to drop our piece of tomato in there, and we're just going to flip it around. We want to make sure that it gets coated in flour. Now you can use a fork. It's so much easier just to use your fingers, but you can use a pair of tongs if you prefer. You just want to get off some of that, but you do want to make sure that it's well dusted all the way around. And from that, we're going to dunk it into our egg and buttermilk mixture. And very briefly, we just want to make sure that it's coated and take that out. And we're going to pop it into our cornmeal mixture and give that a little shake. And if you don't find what's going on, you can always splash some over like that. And there you go. And now we're going to set that aside on a parchment-lined baking sheet. And we're going to repeat this process for all of our tomato slices. And now we're going to fry these, and I've just used about 1/4 of an inch of vegetable oil here, and I've heated it up to about 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And all we're going to do is we're simply going to pop our tomatoes in there. One at a time, very carefully, of course. especially if you're using your fingers. Now, if you're enjoying this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help YouTube to recommend my content to viewers such as yourself. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to flip them over and we'll start seeing some nice golden brown, and that's how we want them on both sides. Now, while those are frying, I'd just like to give a quick shout out and a special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon. Without their financial support, this channel would absolutely not be possible. If you'd like to find out more about Patreon and how you can help financially support this channel from as little as $5 a month, please click on the Patreon link down below in the comments section. Now, when they're nice and golden brown like this one is, we're just going to simply put them onto a tray that is got a little grate on, just so that that oil just drops right through and the bottom doesn't get soggy. And I have to tell you, I'm quite excited to taste these. I know that the tomatoes that have ripened in my garden have just been out of this world this year, so I'm really hoping that these are quite like that. What I do like about this, and I cut into one, is just how beautiful that breading is around it, and I'm quite excited for what this is going to taste like. That's surprising. It is a very refreshing taste. I love the crunch, and I can barely taste the salt or the pepper in there, but it's got a nice crispy crunch to that coating. But the tomato itself is beautifully tender and quite unusually flavored. It's a tomato, but it's not. That is remarkable. I have to say it almost resembles a melon of some kind, but you can taste that sort of acidity of the tomato at the end. That's really phenomenal. And if you try this, I would love to hear from you in the comment section what you think of fried green tomatoes and what you added to make them unique to you. If you'd like to see some more of my content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so that you know when I post my next video. And if you'd like to see even more of my content, you can follow me on all of my social media, and those links are down below in the comments section as well. Now, if you would like to try some more of my snacks and side dish recipes, you can click on this playlist right here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy eating.